For a nation with wise elders who said, "Mwana singa cheme anofira mbereko." How is it that we are a non-dialoguing people? If the young one speaks, more often than not, there is the mutilation of the tongue by means of disciplinary action or outright gagging and accusations of gunubu. What follows is tears and silence. There is a price to be paid for the gagging, for the tears. We are breeding bombs under our tongues that will explode when we kiss our children goodnight. Can we talk? Zimbabwe? My sister is refusing to be buried. The undertaker has been trying for hours to move the coffin from her house. The coffin swells at every attempt. I warned her all the time she would die of bitterness one day. Try, I said, try to breathe once in a while. Let the anger go. Try not to keep score. Her miserable self wraps the mourners in a trance, and they sing and dance like this is an offering to appease her lifetime of sadness. I used to tell her to breathe. She has only remembered now. She sucks in all the mourners' breaths and makes the coffin swell every time the undertaker reaches for the door. I used to tell her to breathe. She has only remembered now.
Patriarchy is structural. It is deeply rooted in our way of life. And to try to dismantle it is to dig from the very roots of our history.
Our great-grandfathers forgot to teach our grandfathers, to teach our fathers, to give our mothers room to breathe.
In his analysis of Zisore Zongororo, written by Ignatius Mabasa, Memory Chirere writes, Shemu asked Daniel, an older nephew, whose parents are also divorced, about the meaning of divorce. And all he says to Shemu is, divorce, is something close to what happens when a cow is forcing its calf to stop suckling when the calf still desperately needs to suckle. The cow running away from the poor calf and sometimes having to kick the poor calf in the face. The boy Daniel works out that divorce is not mutual. The cow wants to stop the suckling, but the calf wants to continue. Your mother is gone, they tell him. But Shemu wonders why he was not consulted before the so-called divorce. Children are thinking, feeling human beings. The decisions made by elders may scar them for life when it can be avoided by a simple conversation. First term, school holidays, 1989. I come home to empty shelves, emptied of promises my father and mother made to each other, dusted off familiar memories, the grace of a mother's hand, instead filled with an absence that crawled on the kitchen floors and windowsills in the now thin air, naked of the scent, stuffed with dusty neglect. Even the doormat failed to report she had once lived here. This was the beginning of my loss. To lose trust is tragic. To not trust someone before you even meet them. To think they will always leave before they even arrive or knock on your door. To always be ready to let go. How does one survive such a tragedy? from wasted young people. What is the root of the problem? We are silent until one day evidence leaves in our homes. Growing into a riot behind the door in my grandmother's kitchen. Yesterday I bought happiness in a 500 milliliter jar, 2 teaspoons a day of levodopa. 1 in the morning to make me forget all the dreams popped in the corner of my now overloaded, helpless brain. 1 in the evening to wipe out the desperation I see on young and old people's faces all day. Out here, happiness can be bottled too. It's called syrup, brain clear, to help you forget your name or what time of day it is, to numb you out of existence, as if they planted your rukubu, taking the dust for the dogs to eat, for the air for you to float and get high and high. Your voice sounds familiar, like a child who talked in my sleep. Voice uneven in places, as if it has covered many miles and has been through heavy things, carries heavy things. Child and mother, Lady B. I still hear your voice when I wake up. I wonder where you are falling tonight. In which man's paws will you be brutalized and left with another load to carry? Another load heavier than your frail self. Lady, you should not be the jab that pierces my fragmented self to show me how lucky I am. There are other things less precious. I wonder who is watching you tonight, licking lips that will crush your bones tonight. Does he have daughters as fragile as you? Who will hear your cries tonight? Your voice sounds too familiar. I am yet to find the words that will shelter you, cover you, and redeem you. Can words do that? They're all I have tonight. And you, I fear they will strip you naked again for 25 cents. or less.
Excerpt from Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Janika said, I think you're suffering from depression. The familiar shook her head and turned to the window. Depression is what happens to Americans with their self-absorbing need to turn everything into an illness. She was not suffering from depression. She was merely a little tired, a little slow. I don't have depression, she said. Years later, she would blog about this on the subject of non-Black Americans suffering illnesses whose names they refuse to know. How much do you know about depression? How often do we reach out to a friend or relative who just disappears from the radar for days on end without thinking, or when in actual fact, they're fighting hideous demons in silence.
My friend has packed her bounty, gorgeous mind into her pretty luggage to take journeys into herself. In her room behind her sun-crinkled curtains, like the pathway that leads to her homestead, she has forgotten me, forgotten many other things, like how to comb her hair, her sister tells me. She says she wants to heal, to breathe. I'm here, patiently waiting, watching the pathway to her homestead, hoping for the day she will appear, praying she will remember me and all the other things she's forcing herself to forget. Like how to breathe, to stay alive.
Girl, have you ever had that one guy you loved so dearly get away? Even if you're in a marriage, you still think about him and wish, what if? You talk about it with your friends often, or look into the horizon with flashbacks of the good times you shared and just smile foolishly to yourself.
I met a man who smiled with his eyes. He was sky and ocean all in one. My eyes met his and I lived 1,000 glorious summers. Winter has come hard on a lonely day, and I'm remembering a lifetime of summers he gave me without asking for anything in return. Dude, wherever you are, I want to meet you again, now in old age. Touch the wrinkles in your body to unfold from life's ridges, but kindness and gentleness. Your eyes carry a little young and stupid to let each other go the way you did.
A woman's womb can be this unimaginable violence, a trap, an exhausting thing. You want to lay it beside the body for a couple of days and just an emergency change of clothes rained on too many afternoons on the washing line. The sins of my 4 mothers must have sat in my womb like fire, all the seed in me, wanting to escape the smoldering. I tasted smoke on my tongue. I called this death by fire. Engulfed, my lower back hung low. It too, wanting to escape, I crawled from death, wrenching my intestines down the latrine. I pulled my mother from her grave, fracturing, tearing, burning my limbs. A time to count sheep. Every month for 5 days I crawl from death's hole, asking myself why. On days like this, come to me only if you are a river, prepared to put out the raging fire. Some days, I don't want to be my mother's daughter. Industrious.
Early bird.
Catching every speck of dust on the muka furniture before the sun sinks into its mother. On many, many days, I just want to curl up in my happy socks.
The romance novel.
Or a chick flick.
With unkempt hair.
Stinky underwear. Clothes from last night dumped on the floor.
On some days, I don't want
To be my mother's daughter. But then, I always hear her voice.
Ope atinandima.
Always that needle that pokes into my laziness, and I'm up being my mother's daughter again.